Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into the show with the most style, the most flash, the most pizzazz, the pound-for-pound king of conspiracies, live from the epicenter of cool Brooklyn, New York. You're listening to the Bruce Montalvo Show. I'm joined by the greatest co-host, Jaja. What's up?
What's up, everybody? What's up, Bruce?
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is January 8th, 2016, and welcome to another episode of the Bruce Montalvo Show. 2016 already.
That's right. Is this the first show of the year? No,
This is the second show of the year.
Yeah, so...
but it's starting off with a bang, ladies and gentlemen. Literally, we are living in an episode of Star Wars, or better yet, it should be called War Stars, because that's all you see with these presidential debates. We're living in John Carpenter's They Live, alongside blood-sucking politicians with these shape-shifting reptilian eyes like Hillary Clinton. You know, those who thrive off the negative energy they create. You know, they try to just suck your soul, suck your civil liberties, these evil demonic leeches from hell, these psychopathic criminal fiends, Jaja. They're here. They want to take power.
You think so?
You'll see that with the bipartisan big government establishment basically starting off 2016 by crashing the stock market. It's
okay. You want to talk about the
insanity.
The controllers, the figureheads, but who really is behind these figureheads?
Right. Who really is behind the shadow government? This, of course, the 2016 crashing of the stock market is, of course, in part due to the phony, baloney fiat legal tender, a.k.a. debt notes they print over at the Federal Reserve, over at the Queen of England's Federal Reserve, over and over again. Is this a sign of the financial apocalypse to come? I mean, we have these offshore international banking Nazi oligarchs getting ready to implode the dollar, or what are they going to bring? The one world currency? Are they going to bring that Amero they talk about so much?
No. What's going to happen is that Amero is just, they don't want coins. They want everything, like, if there any coin they want is Bitcoin. That's about it. They just want electronic.
And you saw what happened with that. That thing went bust.
No,
people lost.
It went back up, though.
Everything.
Not really.
In one shot.
Yeah, but that's for a second. That was hyper speculation. That was done from the Asians. I think that was a Chinese thing. But that was besides the point. It bounced back. It didn't get as high as what it was.
But
originally,
you don't
but it's still usable currency.
You don't see a deja vu like 2016 starting off like 2008. You don't see it.
Okay, but in terms of the stock market, that's very vernacular. It is very much unto itself. It's a game. It's a gambler's game played by gamblers. So I'm not going to compare the entire economy of the United States upon some stock market, collapse or game playing. And even that is just mere speculation. And a lot of that is fear tactics. In fact, I've heard the opposite, Bruce, that this year is going to be a really good year. Actually, I heard that from... there was some couple of guys on Noise.
Would you hear it on CNN?
Because
CNN is starting to sound like the economic collapse blog.
Listen, they want everybody to be scared, and this is a fear-monger society. You cannot listen to the news. They will try to guide the market.
Fear-monger. They're off to the worst start of the year with these stocks. I mean, the Dow Jones totally imploded, and that's the thing. They make the stock market so hard to understand for the average Joe. They make it so hard to understand for them. That's why they want nothing to do with politics. Americans are just done with politics. It's too hard for them. It's like trigonometry or something.
Yeah, what was that crazy movie we saw about the stock market? The
Wolf of Wall Street. Oh, don't get me started.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Don't get me started on that. I'm going to touch up on that, in a little bit.
But a lot of
but that's exactly what it's like.
Very debased lifestyles and just like...
It's like American Psycho. They could go out and they could just stab somebody to death and shoot up a place and they'll get away with it.
Exactly. And they're constantly, just because they're like traveling salesmen without being door-to-door salesmen. They got the whole hype, but they got the game just right. You know what I'm saying? It's scripted, and they know how to solicit and extort money from the average
that's
Joe.
what they do the best. They extort these guinea wop Italian P2 Lodge pedo bastards over in freaking Italy that basically are responsible for the Great Depression, because the bank over in Italy, Legatus, was involved in the Great Depression. They caused it. The Pope singing Last Christmas. Yeah, maybe it is our last Christmas, because you see here I have an article right in front of me. Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 have both posted their worst 4 days starts of the year.
Well, I'm not like boom bust over here, but I definitely
got a lot of
boombastic bust. I might have a boombastic bust, but the show ain't called boom bust.
Well, why the hell do you think I stick around here for?
But the fact is that the stock market again is its own game. In 2008, when they had the collapse, when it was the bull market, that was
the Baphomet market.
Yeah, and it was kind of constructed. It just felt like a real false flag, and a lot of that had to do with the Jews that were solicited from Bernie Madoff that all got sucker punched, because it was a total psyop, because then Trump wanted those stocks, and then he was told that he wasn't going to buy into those dividends or whatever the hell they were.
All these people, they do insider trading. They can implode a building using directed energy technology because it's for the benefit of their stocks.
Yeah.
Who knows what they can do?
Right, so let me finish a sentence about...
It's like the Legion of Doom and Lex Luthor. They're just super villains.
Right, so the whole Donald Trump thing was a whole ploy to get the Jews more like, we're going to be more tribal, and like, if Madoff's not going to sell to Trump because he's not Jewish, he's only going to sell to the Jews. And that was the inside buzz from what I gathered from other people, because I knew a lot of art collectors that, and not maybe a couple personally, but more like I heard thousands of art collectors and wealthy people in Florida and California got really hit bad. So it was and Jews, just from Madoff, because those were must have been the tribalistic. They were being targeted, and Madoff targeted them, and that was in part had to do with the bust, and then you have also the housing bust. That's like something totally separate.
The derivatives.
Yeah,
the derivatives.
Yeah,
exactly.
The double mortgages and stuff. All that home financing.
These are the liar's loans.
Yeah, and that was another thing also. And then there was that takeover with the Freddie Mac and the Fannie. So that was a whole other scandal.
You got to get down and dirty.
So
these guys are down and dirty, just like DiCaprio said. He'd get down on his knees and probably blow Rothschild himself for a down and dirty deal. These Wall Street tycoon thugs.
But you know what happened?
They're worse than the jihadists. Yeah. The Wall Street banksters. They really are.
They're miserable people. They really are.
They should keep jumping out of the tallest buildings and the windows. Just jump right out. Yeah. Keep doing it.
They do live miserable lives. They can't find happiness. With all the money and the fast money that goes through them, it goes up their nose, out their butt. They're sick to their stomachs. They live a fast life. They have no happiness. They're rubbing their dicks in front of under their mason
they're flapping
aprons,
they're flapping them under the
golf
apron,
course.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the back rooms. I like the way you moved on the course there.
Well, absolutely. They got a lot of
caddies.
They got a lot of celebrities caddies. Like Samuel L. Jackson and this other guy from Transformers hanging out with Trump that look fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops.
Well, we got
fruitier than a box of Fruity Pebbles.
We got corny rappers like T-Pain or something that have like a golf course.
No. Check this out.
Accident
Check this out.
What the hell are they doing on golf course?
They're getting so fruitified, these Fruity Pebbles. They got Will Smith's son coming out with Dolce & Gabbana brand new line of skirts. I mean, they got the hijab coming out, the new Dolce & Gabbana hijab, and the triple chin hijab.
You heard about those neck
that
hijabs?
I saw this one fatty from Oregon wearing the triple neck Dolce & Gabbana hijab.
Don't make fun of fat people.
Why not?
Okay.
I am a molten mountain of lust.
Okay, so if we're on the subject of fat people, let's talk about Aleister Crowley's grandchild. What is she doing?
What's her name again? Candy Crowley?
Is that the she got
I
her
have
name?
no idea what the hell.
Snicker Bar Crowley? Is that what
Oh, man. She's definitely pushing maximum density, that Candy Crowley. And she looks just like Aleister Crowley.
Now, because she's so heavy, right? Because her face is all distorted and round.
God.
I mean, didn't you used to be like, have to be beautiful? Don't you have, these women work so hard to be on TV. They're skinny. They work out all day. They're thin as hell. They're on the Auschwitz diet. Okay, totally manufactured, learned from the Jews in Auschwitz how many calories they need to eat a day, how much coke they need to snort, how much money they need to make to snort the coke. And this girl gets on camera, as large as can be, wearing a Santa Claus suit. I thought my eyes were like, and she couldn't even speak. Her voice doesn't even sound the same.
Doesn't even sound
because
the same.
it doesn't sound the same, because she got so much fat on her face it like echoes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like her vocal box.
She's got so many chins. I don't know which one are her lips.
Okay,
but
I mean? All said and good.
Moving.
Okay, but forget about her looks for a second. I don't care about her looks. And the competition that other women that are really would love to have her position, okay, and how the hell she's staying there. But how much is she really bringing to the table besides space? What does she bring to the table?
She's bringing about 350 pounds of just girth.
She looked big at 350. She looked like she was pushing like 420 max. I don't know.
420?
I don't know.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
very
his
good
birthday,
idea.
right?
Especially that there are now pro 420 candidates, like the Libertarian presidential candidate Gary Johnson, who are jumping into the race. Definitely. Now, ladies and gentlemen...
That was a sniffle. That wasn't coke.
No. Yeah,
it's cold in New York.
No, I'm a rock star. They got to remember that. Kim, we're going to transition to another rock star of sorts. The rock star from North Korea, or at least he thinks he's a rock star. Can you really be a rock star if you're spinning Katy Perry records, really, and drinking margaritas? We're going to move on to Kim Jong-nuk. I don't really know if this guy is a clone. I mean, what happened to him? I heard his cankles got fat because he ate cheese. And, then he went missing. And then they had that whole predictive programming movie with the terrible actor Seth Rogen in it about he was killed by the CIA. And, that's predictive programming, the Pavlovian conditioning of the public. And then if you do your research, ladies and gentlemen, if you do your homework, because I know how stupid some of you out there in America really are. You don't want to do your homework. You don't want to read. You're really remedial. But not the listeners of this show. Definitely not. You're amongst the brightest stars in the universe. Do your homework and look up Operation Ajax. And you'll see how the U.S. went in there with the CIA and they overthrew the democratically elected leader of that country, Mossadegh. They overthrew that country. They did it in China. They put Mao in there. And what is to not say that they didn't...
Nazi? What did they Nazi do? They Nazi...
What is to not just say that they didn't do the same thing in North Korea with Kim Jong-nuk?
Yeah.
And this is just outstanding because Kim Jong-nuk says he addresses the new year saying that he's ready to go to war. And then you have this super massive hydrogen bomb. I mean, was it really a hydrogen bomb? I mean, did they really even test an H-bomb? I feel like I'm in an episode of Godzilla versus the Sea Monster over here. The H-bomb's being dropped by this freaking bad Chinese, whatever the hell, actor.
Okay, what I believe...
And the Chinese are acting in this.
Yes, Bruce, you see, the thing is that just by looking at even recent history, look at Saddam Hussein...
Yeah, he was popped up by the U.S.
Look at Gaddafi. These people disappear but don't disappear. And at least in the public view, these people are taken out,
right.
We have the possibility to take them out. So don't tell me that between China and the U.S. they couldn't take this little nodule of North Korea out. This is not true. Okay, this is man, or if he did die, then they could have cloned him. If
but the seismic test...
Wait. We're going to get to that.
Right.
Let me finish my thought about him disappearing, okay? He could have had work done, all right? He was a sick guy, he was obese. He could have just took off a vacation and said, look, you're working too hard. You got to live your life. He wanted to just make a baby or two. Who the hell knows? Really. Okay, but no matter
To
what,
me, I think Kim Jong-nuk is a pedophile or something.
Probably, yes.
Some type of orphanage next to these two little stuffed animals that look like they were doing the hibbity-dibbity to one another. You know, that looked kind of subliminal for, hey, this Kim Jong-nuk cheese-eating fat bastard over here that cries on Dennis Rodman's shoulder is probably a pedo. But yeah, I don't know what happened to this guy. He went missing. Is he a clone now? But what you do know is that more than likely it's the U.S. that's maneuvering everything that North Korea is doing, along with China.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, is that they're working together. They have to be working together. It's too organized. I mean, we get, like, full video footage of this guy looking at screens, smiling, and, like, there's no way that this is not a whole
and you noticed that anomaly in his body. You said that his face looked fatter than his body, and then, like he was, like, fluctuating.
It was really weird. I was looking at him, and I'm just trying to see if it was the same dude, because I know that Castro had 22 body doubles from an
That's
insider.
right. And this is facts, ladies and gentlemen. Google that up.
And Cuba, and my friend used to live from Cuba, and they told me that this is long. They always do that, body doubles. Bin Laden was a body double. So I was trying to look to see if there was anything, and his face really looked the same. But then what was weird was that his body completely changed, and he even had shoulder pads on, and his body didn't look as fat as the size of his face. I mean, I don't know. Could they do lipo on the face like that, all over the face? Maybe he's got a stint. Maybe he's doing. Maybe they're, maybe got progesterone. He's taking steroids, and he's got something that he's trying to keep in his body. Like an extra organ or something that he like.
There's definitely a hidden hand behind what North Korea is doing, and it's not Kim Jong-un's little fat freaking sausage finger hands.
Right.
Okay,
now,
that's for sure.
Definitely.
I don't think that they actually tested an H-bomb.
No.
That's just me.
Because said that,
given what they've put out, the news they put out so far, they're saying the seismic results from that test don't equate to a H-bomb actually being used. So you have another theory, a very interesting theory that has gone back to North Korea, back and back. It's like a MO of North Korea's, of them testing intercontinental ballistic missiles underwater.
Yeah, well,
And now you have California with these earthquakes that happen in Southern California, right?
Yes.
Is this an outcome of that?
Mm-hmm. As of on December 23rd of 2015, the analysts say North Korea's intercontinental ballistic missile simplified. They were already, and it said with the UPI that they were already shooting stuff off. And look, I don't know how fast and how they can make it work, but they say that they're 30 to 40% accurate, and the new models are, the old ones used to be 30 and 40, the new ones are 50 and 60% accurate. And I don't know how fast, it could have a range of 5,592 miles. So that's what they're letting you know. But in the end, it is around the same time right now.
So within California's reach.
Yeah, and it is. And I looked at the maps and the area in San Bernardino, and it was like Denver or something like that was hit. More felt it first. Something like Denver. Not Denver, Denvour. Denver. But whatever. That was like the first area around San Bernardino, Riverside. That is pretty.
Southern California.
How close is that to the shore, to the water over there?
It's about 60 miles away from Los Angeles, but I mean the shoreline's right by San Diego, which is another 60 miles south, or something like that.
60 miles to any given shore. Okay.
It's right there.
So it's really close. So this is what I figured out, because looking at the maps and looking at the whole areas that were hit, it very easily, it looks like a kind of a straight arrow,
right.
Now, if it was, what they do is that they bury these nukes now. They bury waste, disposable. They need to get rid of all of their waste from nuclear experiments,
That's
you know,
right,
whatever it is, you know, old microwaves.
They even throw them out in volcanoes. You've said that.
But there's two ways to dispose of it, and there's a patent for it. It's in the U.S. patent.
That's right.
You could either dispose of it in lava or in tectonic plates. Now, I'm not really sure about what goes on in terms of the land underneath, how the actual plates are structured. But if it's what I'm thinking is that it starts off very thin, close to the coast, and then gets thicker and more into the earth, you know, as it gets more wider. You know what I'm saying? It gets fatter. So if there is a deep nuclear underwater missile being shot, or that did hit the United States, with the U.S.'s guidance, maybe totally for that particular region, maybe it's a Latino region that they want to slowly admit radiation into. So what they'll do is that they'll hit a tectonic plate with a nuclear sub.
Well, it's not just Latino. I mean, there's everybody.
Poverty. Is it rich people there? Laurel Canyon right there?
It's Southern California, the greater Southern California area, anything that affects the Salton Sea area where there's a major slip fault it could destroy the entire state, actually, within 7 seconds with a magnitude 9 earthquake.
What if they just wanted to leak a little radiation into those communities?
Hey, they're leaking radiation from Fukushima still, and you want to talk about leaking radiation into those communities? There's a huge methane leak in Los Angeles that nobody has addressed. So, I mean, California seems to be under attack right now, heavily. I mean, with PSYOPs, like the fake shooting hoax in San Bernardino, to this methane leak in Los Angeles, to now tremors being felt after North Korea's firing under intercontinental ballistic missiles
in December,
and then saying that they're testing H-bombs just to be braggadocious, just to boast to
that's a psyop.
Community.
That's
that's what I mean.
They'll tell you it's one thing, but they're really doing another.
Psyoping bastards.
It's right here.
Bastards.
It's right here in International Business Times.
Actually, they don't even have any rice to eat. That would be a display of power if North Korea actually grew some wheat or grew some food. Then you'd be like, oh man, hey, they're coming up. No, they have food now.
They have it's a psyop. It's a fascist experiment. It's an experiment on fascism. How
meanwhile, the only one eats is the fat ass Kim Jong-nuk. That's the only one eating in that freaking fascist little shithole.
Well, you see, that in itself is an experiment. You see, Bruce. You see, even the most extreme fascism is about its experiments and degrees, and that is the worst possible solution. But we need to see how much people can take, okay, and how much psyoping the world can believe with the propaganda. You see, that we need to have the extreme in order to show the world that we live in a better, non-fascist society.
Hey, Baroness.
You understand? Okay, but we have...
At least you explain that.
The reason why he's still around.
At least you explain that better than how Hillary Clinton explains the difference between being a commie Marxist and being a Democrat, which there is no difference. That's why she couldn't explain it. But really, continue.
Right. So as of January 6th, that was just the other day. You know what I'm saying? January 6th, North Korea fired another submarine.
That's International Business Times. North Korea fire another submarine. I mean, it's right there in paper.
Right there. And you know, the path is very clear from North Korea to Southern California.
Absolutely.
And right before Fukushima, Secretary Gates already issued a warning to the United States. Don't forget, a warning to the United States saying that North Korea had them and was threatening California. So, who's to say they're not...
that, but Austin, Texas, and Chicago, he was just going on a rampage.
Yeah, but
Meanwhile, he had Dennis Rodman dribbling his basketballs, probably drinking margaritas, listening to Katy Perry, that little fruity fascist sausage-fingered fuck.
Yeah, I don't know,
Kim Jong-nuk.
It's all like a puppet show.
I don't even know if he's still alive. I'm thinking he's a freaking clone.
Yeah.
I mean,
or maybe they just programmed him. Said,
I don't know, ladies and gentlemen.
We need to give you an operation, you know.
I mean, he went missing, folks. He went missing last year. He went on a cheese-eating binge to never be seen again.
Maybe they gave him a lap band operation or something.
I mean, they got green screens. If they made that Jurassic Park movie with that T-Rex back in 1990-something, you don't think they could make you a little fat Kim Jong-nuke?
He doesn't do anything anyway. He just stands in that little... He's got that little set.
He can't even move.
He's got a set. He's got his little podium. And that's it. I mean... Who's to say where he is and what position he really has?
The guy looks like the Michelin Man. The guy looks like the Ghostbusters Marshmallow Man. That's what he looks like.
They already let that guy get out of control, and he was killing his own family. And then
he was machine gunning and flame throwing his own family members, feeding them to dogs. I mean, this guy's vile scum.
Yeah, I don't think that it's really him for some reason, or either that or they pre-programmed.
But I mean, that's bombshell. That's bombshell. Just epic news you revealed. With the intercontinental ballistic missile tests underwater targeting California, folks. I mean, you're not getting that anywhere else other than here on the Bruce Montalvo Show. And remember, you could listen to us on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your Android phone 24/7. You can listen to us if you just simply go to Spreaker.com and type in the Bruce Montalvo Show, and you can actually catch us live Fridays, every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I originally titled that article about North Korea. I'll get to you in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Well, North Korea with that supermassive hydrogen bomb. I titled it, but you know, I'm thinking of retitling it because I don't think they tested a hydrogen bomb at all. But now, go ahead.
So, what I wanted to say is that nukes are with Mount St. Helens.
Right.
When you can actually do a search right now on Mount St. Helens and radiation. And back when it happened, I don't remember, 82 or something, that's what they had. But they never really equated it very publicly because there wasn't really an internet there, right? So, but there are some articles that I actually saw from the newspaper that was taken several years after Mount St. Helens that they tested, and they did see radiation. Why was there radiation near Mount St. Helens? There is an article that had a news clip.
There you go.
If anybody thinks that I'm totally off base, right? So
it's Lockhart's exchange theory. For every action or for every trace of anything you did, there's a trace left behind.
Right. So if you were a scientist and you were like listening in, and you go, oh, I want to do a mission to go to the that crazy volcano that happened in Iceland, right? I want to go there. What's going to happen to you is that people are going to know that you're going to do that. The authorities are going to be there. You're either going to be killed, shot, or deterred. Okay? So I don't believe that they're ever going to get a read from a real scientist with this lava and able to put it back out publicly. Of course not. This is super secret, top secret. The only reason it leaked was because some brave soul leaked it, and guess what? That guy's probably not around now either. Yeah, it was a newspaper article, and who knows, maybe that was just like what was going on then. They were just curious. All kinds of people were doing experiments.
Oh, this is heavy-duty stuff.
That was back in 82.
This reveals their grand scheme. I mean, this is Dr. Strangelove. I mean, they're all working together.
When you control the media, you control everything, the minds, the knowledge, and the truth. And the truth is really what we do as investigators, investigative journalists, is that we really take a few steps back and look at MOs, timing, world events, what's going on, what could be a possible cover-up. We're really good at seeing psyops. You know what else we noticed as a psyop? Bruce showed me this, the first thing that you was able to see. He gets things real fast. So he showed me that guy shooting the cop, right, all in white.
That's huge news right now. The Philadelphia masked man shooting a police officer, and then again, there's a manifesto. Oh, he did it for Allah, you know. Which again, that's the earmarkings of a total just psyop. This whole Islamophobia is being pushed by the Jesuits.
Why don't you tell our listeners the first thing that I said and did when I saw that video?
Well, you went and you did your own little independent research.
So what was the
you
first
saw the guy's movements. You studied the guy's movements, and you said, "I've seen this guy move in a certain way before."
No. What did I say when I looked at it?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a freaking psychic. Well, you're telling me what did I say? Why don't you say it? There's the mic's right here.
When I looked at the video, I laughed at it.
Right.
I said, "That's a psyop." I said, "What's that pimp and curly?" thing doing on there.
Exactly. You said he moved funny.
Like 50 said, when he did that Pip and Curly, and he looked like he was acting like playing up the pit.
Well, he scattered like a little biatch.
And he scattered, and you said you saw a mask. You said it looked like
he was wearing an anonymous mask,
Ted Turner
popping a pop gun. But then when the officer got out to return fire on him, it looked like he was firing real rounds. So that's the thing. That's part of the psyop. And then you have them come out with an official statement saying, he pledged loyalty to ISIS. Again, feeding into the whole Islamophobia, fear machine.
Okay, so that's a propaganda. Why don't you talk about the Smith-Monk Act, how we can do that, why we would do it.
They repealed it to now allow for government-sponsored fake news. So almost everything you see that has to do with shooting here, mass killing there, more than likely is a CIA black op.
Okay, so with that in mind, the first person I saw, the biometrics and the style and the movements, I saw Andre 3000. I said, yo, please, nigga, that is Andre 3000 doing a little stunt, okay? So then I was like, yo, I know it's him. And so, I go and I do a research. And I know, he just said 2 days ago he's coming out with a new album, right? So I'm looking at it, and I check out, he totally wears white, all the time. And then we were looking at his movements on stage, and he's, moving over.
He even has a song called I Like the Way You Move, right?
Right, like the way. And
so you're seeing him do some little fucktardy dance. I mean, apparently popping caps at this police officer.
Who he's mad at because already he spent the past few years without doing an album.
So you have an MO right there.
Right, and he's gotten some DUIs and speeding tickets and all this and the other thing.
About he always carries a gun.
Now he's saying he's always last album he came out a few years ago. He always carries a gun, and he's trying to make he had a gun campaign.
Well, I don't know, folks. This sounds just sensationalist.
I believe it's Andre.
The movements are there. I mean, we don't know 100%, but it's your conjecture. It's what you're thinking. It's the psyop that you see unfolding potentially.
And to top it off, there was an article very recently, considering the Muslim issue. They are tying in hip-hop because I always say, they always talk about trying to be scared of Muslims. I know so many black Muslims. So in this particular article, they're tying in Donald Trump and Andre 3000, which is very interesting because Andre hasn't been out in so many years. Why in this contemporary article are they tying in Donald Trump? And they talk about the Muslims, and it's in The Guardian. All right, and it's a Guardian article. It came out in December 8th. Famous and Donald Trump's and famous Muslims in U.S. history. So it is that issue, and they're already thinking about, how the media is propagating, Islamist phobia and stuff like that. And very well, Andre 3000 has had his come out. Yo, what's up, Andre? Put me on record.
Speaking of the media and this Islamophobia, you have what happened in Cologne, Germany. I mean, Angela Merkel over there just letting them run just loose all over the place. I mean, how many of those guys were actual migrants from North Africa and Syria? I mean, that weren't radicalized by the Mujahideen, aka the CIA. I mean, how many of them?
So you're thinking that they're actually trained
They'd be agents. Yeah, they're agents having a field day out there New Year's Eve in Germany. And this is what Angela Merkel quoted, folks. She said, "The arrival of refugees is an opportunity. Countries have always benefited from immigration," says Hitler's daughter. Now, I couldn't disagree with that comment. I mean, I get it. If it wasn't for the Industrial Revolution, which consisted of immigrants, this country wouldn't be as great as it is, the United States of America. So I see why the New World Order and Tavistock gave her those lines. But I mean, really, it's just ridiculous what these potential migrants, who I think could be agents, definitely, because everything is just, since they repealed the Smith-Monk Act, I mean, it's all over the place. It's not just in America. It's like worldwide psyop news. But you do see a young, unfortunately, a Frau here, with her nose beaten in, and You see, they set off all types of fireworks, and I mean they were beating and they were raping and they were just beating the crap out of these German women. But you got something to say about that, definitely. I know you do.
Yeah. Well, Bruce, on my show, previously known as Damage Control, I was extensively following the Arab Spring.
Right.
And there were so many rapes and mishandlings of the females there. It seemed like these people are pent up and psychotic. And I don't mean to say that about Muslims, but I just mean to say it like there's a certain type of a person that's going to those particular. It's like my mosh pit photographs, right? It's like a teenage angst. It's like you get this edgy kind of person that wants to be a miss for other thousands of other people.
But the ones that are radicalized by the Jesuits are definitely nasty, though.
Right. Okay. And a lot of them are very repressed, and they feel like and they're stupid. They're repressed in their brain, and they see a woman, and in Egypt especially, there's a lot of very intelligent and secular women, and that are very angry that they have to wear the hijab or whatever.
But it's a Dolce and Gabbana hijab now. You can wear it with style.
Not everybody likes it. Not everybody likes it, Bruce, and some people just deal with it.
Hey, Hillary likes it. She's known as Darth Hillary now. She put on the Sith Jesuit hijab, the Dolce and Gabbana.
She has to.
No, but that's the thing.
That's the thing. They control it. They make you. They don't want to see the hair. Now, you bring those slimy, swarthy motherfuckers into Germany, and they think they died and went back to heaven. They think they see 7 virgins and stuff. The blonde hair, the blue eyes.
Little angels, right?
Yeah, the angels. Oh, my God. Those are
Borat. Like Borat, how he had that Pamela Anderson magazine. He was fighting his buddy.
Bruce, when I was in Paris, when I had my blonde hair, literally these Moroccan men, a lot of those guys were North African, which is Moroccan. They literally would grab me. I mean, they would try to grab me. And they'd be like, oh, and they'd be talking French and Moroccan, whatever word they can say, like to me. They'd be trying to talk Portuguese. Oh, she speaks Portuguese. Oh, let's talk in Spanish and Portuguese. They were trying real hard if they couldn't speak it.
So you were literally the center of the universe.
They are crazy for blonde hair. So, you know what? It serves them right. They want to allow them in. I don't know what to say. It's a psyop. Those kind of people. You know what? I think, in a way, these freaking Germans are so sick in the head. They're like psychotic. They got this fetish. If you go back into their bondage, a history of bondage and fetishism and sexuality, them niggas like torture. You know what I'm saying? They like that. They like that torture shit. So, I mean, meanwhile, a few little blondes get raped and then it creates a whole country.
Raped by who? Mujahideen, CIA, or real migrants? I mean, if you're a migrant, you don't want to have your little Syrian flag out
They're
right
probably
now.
Ahmadinejad's cousins. Anyway.
It's like the Mexicans. They don't want to have the little Mexican flag out.
So now you have these fat...
I mean, only the Puerto Ricans have the flag out. And even they don't want to have the flag out anymore, right? They want to go back to Spain or whatever the hell. But go ahead.
They're probably cousins of Ahmadinejad. But, so now you have these, older, aging fraus, all fat and everything, now having these psychosexual fantasies of all these swarthy Ahmadinejads raping them. They're probably loving it. They probably have a million porno films.
This didn't look like no psycho fantasy. This looked like an all-out ass-kicking and just total rapage of German women.
No, it's. I'm not saying it's not horrible. You know what I'm saying? But what's good? That they were planted there for more aggression and more laws and more hatred toward the Muslims, which I don't really believe that we should be hating somebody because they're Muslim anyway. So that's the game. The game is divide and conquer, and to create a scenario, become the situation. You create the situation, and then you become the solution and the resolution and the saviors, right? You create the resolution. That's what it is. And then they go to the government. Oh, help us now.
Well, they play the role of this one who always wants sympathy, like the Palestinians, who could go out and they target and stab a Jewish person in Tel Aviv or something, and then raise their baby in victory, their angry baby in victory, and they want the sympathy of the world.
Exactly.
Right? Or they'll be terrorists and they'll be hiding out in hospitals, and they know that they're on the death list. They know that they're targeted, right, for death. I mean, you're freaking terrorists. They're coming to get you, right? And what are you doing in a hospital? Not just that, but I mean, they're really doing some sick, sinister Resident Evil style black ops out in Syria. I mean, now there's some type of flesh-eating virus out there amongst the Syrian refugees.
It's
so
probably,
I mean,
probably what
they're
they did
going
to
out.
the British.
It's like a zombie movie, and
It's
they're
probably
using
the
the
same
Syrians as the zombies.
Well, they keep using any biowarfare.
What are they doing to these people?
It's probably every kind of bioweaponry that they've imagined. They remember the chemical nukes. I mean, it all comes from...
It's called leishmaniasis, I believe, was the flesh-eating bacteria.
But I do believe it's a bit of an experiment, and it's a bit of taming and whatever, and they want to co-opt and own that property and land and dig up all the antiquities and get all the secrets that the Syrians have been so known to be able to keep.
Who does that? CIA.
Exactly. And what I think is that these people are just, they're set up, they're set up to failure. And I wanted to say something about the Middle East, that if they want it to work, they make it work. There's a $30 million museum that just got built in Gaza, in Palestine. $30 million museum of modern art. Whoa, that should blow your fucking minds away. Who's paying for that? Them freaking Israelis are not going to go bombing that shit now. And anyway, they probably were behind it.
Well, let's hope the Palestinians don't destroy it like they destroyed all the aqueducts and everything. The water systems they made for them in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is anti-Israel, this and that. But I mean, besides the government of Israel possibly, if not definitely, being infiltrated by the Fourth Reich, which was pretty much set up by the Fourth Reich. I mean, everybody is under the New World Order, Visigothic enslavement.
It's crazy because I always thought bring up the level of, community and the people and in the Palestinians and have everybody work together. I don't understand why anybody's hating on each other. Why everybody's there's enough room in the planet for everybody. I just don't get it. What's with these freaking boundaries and borders? But then you listen to the Palestinian rhetoric and their books, since they're like little kids, and they're like, kindergarten, second grade, they're all saying it doesn't matter. We're gonna take it all over. This whole area is gonna be called Palestine. Israel's not gonna be exist. There's not gonna be no more Jews. And when you see a Jew throw a rock at them,
it's the most moronic and imbecilic rhetoric I have ever heard because Judaism predates Islam.
Yeah, right. And but it just doesn't. It's created, and then when I found out,
it's part of the big three religions that all started in India. It all goes back, folks. And the Star of David itself, we mentioned this last week, was used by the Jesuits to co-opt the Jews, the Jewish religion.
Yep.
So it's just psyop after psyop after psyop. And getting to the big psyop here, the biggest one of them all, you have the gun grabber in chief during CNN's Guns in America town hall meeting. Ugh. President Obama, the bomber, he stated, he blasts imaginary fiction of taking away guns, calling it a conspiracy. So here you have the teleprompter tears instead of crocodile tears. I'm calling them teleprompter tears because, that whole thing when he cried for the Sandy Hook, he's trying to get the tears for fears for the Sandy Hook. I mean, it's
a good actor.
What do you mean, good actor? You saw me at Sony Wonder. They put a teleprompter in front of me. It's how hard could it be? I mean, literally, the guy has the IQ of 2.
No, he doesn't. But could you cry on point? I mean, if you cry on point, maybe you can be present.
I don't know. Maybe they MK Ultra'd him. They had him in some room in the back doing something strange for a piece of change to him. Actually, that's funny you mentioned his dog. There was actually a plot that was foiled to kidnap Obama's dog. Some guy had shovels and ammunition. He said he was going to kidnap Obama's dog. But look, more importantly than Obama's dog is our guns. And the teleprompter in chief, Obama, the big crybaby, who wants you to feel bad over Sandy Hook, that never happened, an Adam Lanza killer who died the day before it happened. It's on his death certificate. The kids are still alive. You saw them at the Super Bowl. The FBI said 0 were killed. You see all the symbolism, Masonic symbolism.
0.
Skull and bone symbolism. Sandy Hook symbolism. And a map on Batman. I mean, come on, folks. Predictive programming, Pavlovian conditioning. They demolished the entire school. So these Tears for Fears, this bullshit story that Obama's crying over was staged. And pretty much, I disagree with any gun law that he puts out. I mean, there are already sufficient enough background checks. I mean, he wants to say that he needs to install more gun regulations because of what happened in California. That's an absolute farce, because California is got so many gun regulations. I mean, they do thorough background checks that infringe upon your constitutionality, basically, and a 10-round clip limit. I mean, any mass killer can just have like 20 clips in his backpack and reload. So it's just stupid gun laws. The fact of the matter is, I'll tell Obama the same thing I told Spike Lee across the street from me, and that is, the Second Amendment will not be infringed, you communist bastard.
Right, and you were saying about that that the FBI stated that there was no deaths. An Obama official actually recently, well, not just recently, but he confirmed that it was a drill and no children died.
The same thing with all these things. The same thing, and you have all these crisis actors. The military wanted to hire more crisis actors, more special ops people for just exactly these types of psyops, from the Umpqua College shooting in Oregon, and how all the freaking psyopers, all the FBI informants, all the scum, all the filth that the Dwight D. Eisenhower tried to warn us about when he was talking about the military-industrial complex, the MIC taking more power than they should. And that's what these guys are doing out in Oregon. These psyopers, these mercenaries, are basically infringing upon the Third Amendment. Most of them aren't even Marines. They're just like mercenaries picked up by Blackwater, or just fat bums that they're putting
homeless.
out.
They want to create
homeless former lance corporals out there.
Okay, so what we have here are former, pretty much Germans, family of Bundy. It turns out that...
And Obama's using these guys to take your guns. Obama's using these guys to come after the guns. Say, look at these crazy freaking maniacs out here. All these homos out here freaking broke back Bundy.
Right.
That's what it is. They're protesting the government, folks. Well, they're going to quit that protest as soon as they run out of chili and whiskey. And all they're doing out there is no different than what Heath Ledger was doing in Brokeback Bundy, folks.
No. They're never going to run out of chili, because, Bruce, they're just going to have another sacrifice of the cows and bury them again in sandy, in sandy dust. And they can eat sand, and then later on they're going to eat them sandy hooves. You know what I'm saying? Like
sandy. Sandy hooves.
Yeah, these guys are jokes, and it's obvious. We know some of these people. All right, so personally, it's unbelievable. They're liars. And what I think the bigger picture is this, Bruce. First of all, we have to ask Bundy. Where is that name familiar from?
It's an Illuminati bloodline, folks. You keep seeing it all over the place. These guys are patriots. No, they're part of an Illuminati bloodline that has ties in the CIA. This whole stint in Oregon is nothing but an army psyop.
What about Ted Bundy?
Right out of Operation Phoenix.
Okay, so we have Ted Bundy, is what I'm trying to get at, that rings a bell for most people. It's crazy, very famous, well-known. Psycho. And then you also have the Bundys on TV, right? But that's kind of like immortalizing.
Those are cool Bundys.
But but that's what it is. They're immortalizing their name and making it good. Okay, so these guys are really, and actually before CIA, Operation Paperclip was the bringing in of what we believe is Amon Goetz, right?
Right.
Goet.
It's funny because when you look up Amon Goetz, this Nazi. All you gotta do is type in Ammon Bundy, and this Nazi shows up looking just like him.
But it was the other way around, Bruce. We were looking at Ammon Bundy And the Nazis showed up in
what
Google. No, you said the opposite, but it's okay. Everybody can just go to Google and type in Ammon Bundy, and you will see the Nazi that says Ammon. He's named after a relative who also happens to look like Ted Bundy.
Here's the thing, so people understand what exactly these guys are doing out there. These guys are old Central Intelligence CIA operation forces going back to the Vietnam War. So that's why you see a lot of these old bastards over there. And then, a couple of gas jockeys pretending to be journalists dressed in Coco the gorilla outfits, posing as spokesmen. And you want to pose as anything tough guy, come over here to New York. I challenge you to a Brooklyn street fight. And you don't want that fight because you're a freaking pussy and you need your freaking gun for everything. To wipe your freaking ass. I only need my fists. I'm not against guns. I'm not against guns at all, but I'd rather use my fists, not a gun, like you freaking pussies out there. And I encourage all of the good people from Oregon to get your guns up and kick those freaking bastards out of your town. Kick them out of your town, because if you back down to these goons, you're only going to give them more power. Really, they're a bunch of pussies,
neo-Nazis.
folks. I've gone up against these guys. I went up against the spokesman. I literally almost kicked his ass. He was crying. He was talking about false police reports against my wife and crying. Really, all he had to do was show up outside without a pistol, just mano a mano, and God knows, God is my witness, I would have beat 2 shades of shit out of that fake Mussolini pussy motherfucker.
Yep.
Woo!
Yeah, well, there are definitely psyopers, and I know why you're mad, Bruce. But these people are they work for the government.
I'm not mad at all. It's a bunch of homos drinking whiskey, eating chili out there, protesting the government. That's what it is.
But everybody's mad.
It's a bunch of rednecks. We live in Brokeback Mountain. A bunch of homeless criminals who are on the run from the long dick of the law. Like I said, it's a guy in a gorilla suit working for Hillary, working for Obama, trying to take your guns away. Hey, this Oregon psyop is a complete psyop.
There are a bunch of Nazis that are actually, in the end, Ammon Bundy is trying to rally up and corral all kinds of veterans. They want people to take it over, like a commune. This old Austrian guy named Otto Mueller, and they came up with the concept of utopian socialism, and they wanted to do these experimental utopian places where they can start up communes, and these people are like survivalist types, and they kind of use that kind of...
So they're nothing but a bunch of criminal communists
wanting to have a commune,
congregating together,
squatting on land.
Basically, they're homeless, and they're saying, the federal government has a lot of land, and they're just squatting on it.
They want to squat, and then they want to use squatters' rights.
They're doing it for their civil affairs unit to try to start a counter-revolution.
Yep, exactly. And that will also, in a way...
These agent provocateurs have been exposed.
Yeah, but then also, in a way, they will be able to control anybody that really wants to be a militia. So by them psyoping and controlling, being the militia, or infiltrating and coming up with their own strong militias, or seemingly strong militias, organized militias, people will gravitate toward them, and then they will be found out, and then they're honeypotted, and then they're psyoped, co-opted, and then destroyed internally. And that's how it all works, my friends.
Because the last Bundy Ranch standoff, or whatever the hell that was, it was really just precious metals, precious land deal with China and Molycorp, a company, and the Koch brothers. So that's what it was. And what makes this any different?
These people want, Clive Bundy, didn't he say something about black people? Did he say something bad about black people?
Of course. He's no different than Paula Deen and Donald Sterling.
Okay, but
there's no different than any of those guys. Maybe
Paula Deen and all of them are going to, live on that ranch, too. And
of course, along with Ted Bundy.
What was her name? Zeta?
We don't give people press here.
Whatever.
Okay, Ted Bundy, he's a serial killer. He gets press because we're media.
I bet you
we give serial killers press, right?
If you go to that property, you will actually probably find Ted Bundy. I'm sure maybe it is Cliven Bundy himself. No, I have to figure out. But that was his son. He's definitely related. He's hiding out. He's in a bunker. He's in a bunker.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to hide out in a bunker like those losers, at least you could look good by supporting the show, our show, because we actually bring you the most... We're not boring, first and foremost, and we bring you the most gripping, entertaining hour of information ever. So you tell them where they can go. You tell them where they can go.
We're only here once a week, Bruce, only for an hour. But we do try to be informative. In the meantime, you should go to www.etsy.com.
Yes, make it real
/shop.
Yes.
Sell
sex.
Antique Obsessions. And
okay, that's too much sex. Tell them where they can go.
And the other one is www.etsy.com /shop conceptual subculture. That's one word. Or you can just go to etsy.com and type in one word, conceptual subculture. You'll find us. Or Antique Obsessions, and you'll find amazing, one-of-a-kind jewelry from copper creations, wire-wrapped, organic, natural, tribal wear, orgons, clay, just like really cool amulets, chokers, really awesome like Burning Man kind of wear, and really like Wicca kind of stuff. And then we have the Antique Obsessions, which is just more like Baroque, Art Nouveau, Victorian, Edwardian kind of looking, and they are antiques, and we repurpose them. So you can actually get a piece of sterling that was repurposed by us that was probably 100, maybe over 100 years old, and
wow,
just gorgeous. And we test everything, and we're not trying to get over on you, and we're not trying to sell you coins or fake coins at that, Bitcoin, or these are not like coins with like copper in the middle with like a little bit of gold on the outside. This is like honest, and you read every listing, and they're all honest, to the best of our ability. And we try our best, and we make beautiful, one-of-a-kind items. And wouldn't you want to have like a real awesome, one-of-a-kind, spectacular jewelry? We even do some custom work, if you're like a customer that has been proven to us before, to be loyal to our style and not just try to boss us around and make us do things without like upfront. So we actually do have a lot of custom work but usually for customers that have been like really good. So
some of the best sterling silver jewelry, some of the best antique jewelry. Be sure to go to our shop, and it supports the show, folks. It keeps us here. It keeps us on TalkStream Live, where you can listen to us every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. It keeps us going, because we're not socialists. We're not communists. We're not out to use other people's money till it runs out. We use our own money. We create our own money. We are our own business. Outside of the New World Orders, they think we're a business that works for them business.
That's right. So Bruce and I are artists, but we're working all the time, like 16 hours a day. If it's not one thing, it's another, but we're working in jewelry most of the time. So.
And we still take 1 hour out of our busy week to try to inform you, try to make sure that you are not just another casualty of a stupefied, Nazified America. And before we go, I wanted to close out on this little story here. Trump called Jesus a loser. We had like a Beatles moment, like a John Lennon moment. He called him a loser.
He's so funny. You're gonna have to like.
He went after everybody: Gandhi, Jesus, Mother Teresa.
He wants to
all
be
of
you.
them.
He wants to crack jokes like you.
He wants to make fun of Mithra like me.
You got a Trump Plaza shirt.
That's the thing. Yeah. No, this one's nice. It isn't like some little ugly shirt he'd wear gallivanting around with Samuel L. Jackson and Mr. Garrison. It's a real nice.
100% cotton.
Well,
Nice.
it's pimp.
It's great.
It's a nice shirt. I look
Low-key.
fly.
Yeah, it's nice. Anyway, big ups, you know what I'm saying? Keep up the jokes, Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? Because you're a joke.
And speaking of jokes, be sure to check out my entry into the Infowars.com contest. That thing kind of became like Don King fight, where, you're done fighting, you're done, with the 15 rounds, and then the referee's taking like too long with the scorecard.
What's happening with Alex
We don't know
Jones?
what's going on with that.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on with our good friend Bill.
What about my video, Bruce?
We don't know what's going on with that, but we know a whole bunch of funny, duddy, phony, bony freaking Fruity Pebbles business is going on in Oregon, and Obama is coming to get your guns.
Yeah, and people should go see my video at Benghazi. Go just look up
right.
Benghazi, Benghazi, and Jaja. You will see the
that
video.
Song is insanely insane.
Amazing.
It totally details the psyop that was Libya and the psyop that is the shape-shifting Hillary Clinton. Buddy, we are out of time.
It'll be on iTunes soon, too, Bruce.
It'll be on iTunes soon.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for tuning in, folks, to the Excellence in Radio Execution. Bruce and Jaja. This has been the Bruce Montalvo Show. Say goodbye, Ja.
Peace, y'all.
See you
Have
later.
a good week.
Hasta la vista, baby. Bruce Montalvo.
Continues to spread conspiracy theories.
Penchant for promoting bogus conspiracies as though they were fact.
Bruce Montalvo.
About his conspiracy theory?
This is CNN, a network of China Broadcasting System.
Bruce Montalvo is the only radio talk show host that's not controlled.
Support MBN, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, and shop with us over at Montalvo Store. Go to ebay.com and search in the advanced search. Type in Montalvo Store. Now support Montalvo Broadcasting Network. We have a wide array of books on conspiracy, apparel, and much more. Support your favorite radio station, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, by visiting Montalvo Store on ebay.com.
Hi, this is Jaja. Come shop with us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Sign up for Poshmark using our code ANTICULTURE. That way you can have $5 in your pocket when you join up and you can buy something from our store. We have mad stuff like upcycle things, Armani, Hurley, O'Neill. We upcycling all kinds of things like LL Bean. And plus we got our tie-dyes and just mad stuff. Just come check us out. Also, you can sell your own stuff too using the Poshmark app. But sign in first using our code ANTICULTURE. And you can find us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Or when you're up in there, just at Anticulture us. And you can look under the people. Check you out. Peace.
Montalvo Broadcasting Network.